Hello, we are here with chapter 18.3 on turtles, crocodilians, and tuataras. We are still talking about exothermic animals under the general idea of reptilians and amphibians, though we haven't gotten to the amphibians yet. Let's study a little bit of turtles as well as some things which are related to them. A turtle is a reptile with a shell and a toothless jaw. The upper shell of the turtle is known as a carapace. The lower shell is known as the plastron. Turtles have a specific habitat, but within hot, dry climates they will burrow into the soil through a process known as estivation. Turtles don't survive very well outside of their natural habitat. Although turtle and tortoise are commonly used interchangeably, a tortoise is a land turtle, so a tortoise likes to stay on land. You wouldn't want to chuck a tortoise in the water. They don't swim too well. So, continuing on, crocodilians, these are the largest living reptiles. They have webbed feet, strong legs, and a carnivorous diet. Crocodiles and alligators are distinct because alligators lack the broad, triangular-shaped snouts that crocodiles have. So, living here in Florida, you should, alligator versus crocodile, animal battle, right? But you should be able to tell the difference between a crocodile, which we do not see around here. These are like a Nile crocodile and an alligator, like a Florida gator. These are commonly found in, of course, Mississippi and other parts of southeastern America. Crocodiles are found elsewhere, and they're actually not even in the same genus, so they're quite distant relatives. They are, however, in the same family. So, kind of interesting. Continuing on, we have this Tuatara. These are unique reptiles that kind of look like lizards. They're natural inhabitants of New Zealand. New Zealand has a lot of species that's quite a bit different from ours, being an island and being a tropical island. Some pretty amazing things have developed. They're different because these tuataras have what is known as a parietal eye, a third eye on top of its brain. It doesn't actually see, but it detects solar radiation. And, of course, reptiles being exothermic have to control their body temperature through external means. And so this third eye, so to speak, helps them to see when to go out in the sunlight to warm up, and when they're having too much sun, of course. My mother had a third eye in the back of her head. She always saw what I was doing. Maybe some of your moms are like that too. Dinosaurs. Now this is an interesting idea. Dinosaurs are extinct creatures that literally mean fear-inspiring lizard, from the Greek words dinos and sauros. The word dinosaur wasn't even invented until 1842. However, they are described as best as they can be in the Bible, especially the book of Job and the book of Psalms. The Bible has a lot to say about dinosaurs. See, evolutionary biologists, many of them believe that dinosaurs, they died off in the Jurassic or Triassic period, some odd 300 million years ago. However, the dinosaurs that we find today are surprisingly young, all things considered. In fact, we have found dinosaur blood. And any evolutionary biologist would tell you that blood does not last all that long. If you can recover actual cells, that is remarkable and must be a remarkably preserved specimen. Although in many things that we see around the world, we do recover cells, many of these dinosaurs. And so I agree with the narrative of the Bible that humans coexisted among dinosaurs until the Great Flood, and odds are that dinosaurs were unable to adapt to the different Earth post-flood. The different Earth may have had something like less oxygen. It may have just not had the food conducive to feeding these dinosaurs. Take a look at what Job has to say. This is the oldest book in the Bible. This was written before the time of Moses. It says, "Look at Behemoth. Feeds on grass like an ox. Its tail sways like cedar." So a lot of people who would tend to not agree with the biblical chronology would say Behemoth is just a elephant. But I haven't seen an elephant with a tail like cedar. Limbs made of what seems like iron. That's pretty incredible. Give me just a second, I'm having a Skype call. The Bible also talks about, in the next chapter of Job, as God is really talking about Job, about his mighty power, he says, "Can you pull in the Leviathan with a fishhook? Could you tie down its tongue with a rope?" The obvious answer being no. And it says, I will not, I will not fail to speak of Leviathan's limbs, its great strength and graceful form. Who can strip off its outer coat? The King James actually, I think correctly, interprets that and says it's double layer of armor. And this is an incredible sea dinosaur. There's not really any sea creature that has armor, so to speak, and that is massive enough. Besides, of course, like the whale. But whales, of course, can be snared for their blubber, and were in these times. And so, was a creature you didn't want to mess with. Probably a dinosaur. Here's another one. And that is Ezekiel 32. Now, Ezekiel is a unique book, of course, a book of prophecy, a book that goes along with Lamentations, and Ezekiel saw the wheel talk to dry bones, and he says, "You are like a monster in the seas." Whoa, right? The King James actually translates this dragon. It's not talking about an actual dragon, like we would think of dragon, fire-breathing, etc. But many people, of course, biblical scholars, believe that this was a sea dinosaur. And that even in Ezekiel's time, they, at the very least, had tails of such a beast. And how would they have tails if they didn't have... Or let me word it this way. Why would they have tails if this dinosaur died off 300 million years ago? They were not archaeologists. They could not find the dinosaur. They did not have the technology. And so, anyways, that gives a hint that these things were passed down after the flood. Dinosaurs, these sea legends. And they lasted a very long time, until, of course, we started doing archaeology. Here's some dinosaur groups. Sauropods, large herbivorous, very long necks, very long tails. Possibly mentioned in the book of Job as the grass eaters. You have the theropods, fearsome with large legs and little tiny arms. It's the theropods. You have ceratopsians, massive with skulls and horns. My mom just texted me and said it's April 22nd, and it's 28 degrees in Pennsylvania. She had to scrape ice from her car. That's crazy. Ceratopsians have a massive skull and horns. Pterosaurs are flying with gigantic wingspans. And that is all of the dinosaur groups that we're going to go over. Of course, we can talk about incredible amount of different variety of species of dinosaurs, and really I'm no expert on those things. But I think that does interest a lot of people. If it interests you, I hope that you do a little bit of your own research and take a look at your textbook. It has some pretty good ideas. Alright, section view 18.3 is yours to do. I will see you later. Have a happy, I believe Thursday is when you should be watching this video. Alright, bye-bye.